Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with Throwback Thursday. We're back with season 2, episode 1. Y'all remember when Sheree said, "Who gonna check me, boo?" Well, child, we gonna find out who gonna check her, and I want y'all to watch until the end of this video because I have an update on Anthony Shorter, aka the event planner that was acting a fool lolloping through this episode. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. When the episode first opens up, Dwight goes over to visit Nene in her original face. Honey, he's visiting. And she's like, "Oh my God, Dwight, I just love me some Dwight. He's so great. He knows fashions." Girl, does he? I liked them as a duo until they fell out behind Greg and that $10,000. Y'all remember that? As soon as Nene was getting into it with Dwight about him saying he loaned Greg $10,000, honey, it was a wrap. Nene had just moved into her new rental because y'all remember when they exposed her for not owning. Child, I'm like, okay, she ain't owning yet. The checks wasn't rolling in right, honey. Her wig wasn't even sitting right by season 2. But anywho, she was renting and it was a beautiful home. And Dwight came over to help her decorate. Why people think because you can piece together an outfit, you can decorate a home? Just why? Okay, like for me, the two of those don't go together. Just because I can put some pieces together don't mean I'm going to know how to make your home decor. I'm just saying, honey, well, maybe that's just me. So she's showing him around and whatnot, and he's like, "Oh, no, ma'am. This silk plant? Oh, no, we got to get rid of that expeditiously." Child, not that silk plant. Baby, my mama and my grandma love a silk plant. Do you hear me? And it's going to be a silk plant up and through a house in the South if it ain't nothing else. So Nene is like showing him around and whatnot. And so they end up in the theater room with Dwight putting on a little show. Child, he all on the floor. Here go Nene. Oh, I love a good crawl. Crawl to me, Dwight. Crawl to me. Baby, these two was something else. This one, Nene was really real. Okay, and you could tell she ain't really had no money yet. Because do y'all remember when Nene had that original face and it was kind of like she would be looking at you, but she would kind of be looking somewhere else too at the same time? I know I ain't the only one who thought that when I looked at Nene. She never really was giving you a face-to-face. It was suspicious, okay? The looks were suspicious. In the next scene, we see Kim and she on her way to see Rose, the psychic. Kim, what you got on? Baby, let me tell y'all something. In 2008, the fashions were not fashioning. Baby, we looked a fool. So Rose is reading her poem, and Kim tells us that her and Big Papa broke up, and they've been off and on for about a year, but, you know, he just really did something to her. He betrayed her. The fact that Kim would talk about this relationship like she was not this man's mistress is just mind-blowing. Like, it's actually mind-boggling. Girl, you were the mistress. Like, when I look back on it, Kim was just really sitting here playing in our faces with Big Papa. Thank you, Big Papa. Y'all remember when he bought her that Cadillac Escalade? Oh, child, it's a whole fool. So anyway, she said the last straw was some betrayal that he did. Oh, okay, so not him being married. Girl, talking about some betrayal. How you think his wife was feeling? They were all on MTV Cribs showing off their house with their children and whatnot in LA. And here come Kim in her synthetic wigs talking about thank you, Big Papa. He betrayed me. Honey, he betrayed his own family. His middle name is Big Papa Betrayal. Girl, goodbye. Kim got on this Barbie doll hair, blonde wig, and it's a fool. So Rose is telling her that she's going to start a business. Child. Kim had one song, well, I'm sorry, 2, because the ring didn't mean a thing and neither did the song. But anywho, she had those 2 songs and she was selling them synthetic wigs. Y'all remember? I wonder who bought those wigs. Please come forward. Child, if you want one of Kim Zolciak's wigs, please come forward, honey. With a real buyer, please stand up. So Kim is telling us in her confessional, she was like, you know, Lisa called me a liar, so I'm just done with her. And I'm really hurt by Nene because she sung a song about me. Y'all remember that song she sung about Kim? I know I got a record deal. Ain't nobody never heard of me. Baby, they were ignorant. When I tell you seasons 1 through 4 was purity ignorance, oh, child, and I live every time I think about it. Oh, I loved organic Real Housewives of Atlanta. So anyway, so then we see Nene. And she was like, you know, I just really felt hurt by the things that Kim was saying. You know, last year I called her and I said that I wanted to talk to her and, you know, just have some wine with her or whatever so we can hash things out. But I just don't know if I'm ready. So then Rose tells Kim that she's going to have a boy. And y'all know what? It is so creepy that Rose was actually right. That lady was actually right, honey. I don't know if she was just guessing or what, but she did have a boy. Moving forward. In the next scene, Sheree is moving into her new place because her divorce is final. And Nene was like, word on the street is that, her house was in foreclosure. Okay, well, word on the curb is that you rent every house you get. Nene, now that ain't nice. So Sheree said, I just had no clue that Bob wasn't paying the mortgage. And then they got a note and told them that they had 30 days to get out. Bob did Sheree grimy. Do y'all hear me? And she had the nerve to try to give him a second chance in seasons later than that. In seasons, I think it was in season 7 and 8. Yeah, it might have been in season 7 and 8, or it might have been, it wasn't in 9, because honey, that's when the sex dungeon was happening and whatnot. I think 7 and 8, she gonna have enough nerve to try to give Bob another chance. Child, I wish I would. So she said they got a notice telling them they had 30 days to get out. She said, I haven't gotten any child support from Bob in over a year. Y'all remember when Phaedra tried to get that child support child? Phaedra is not no good lawyer. She went down there and had Sheree looking straight crazy. How you gonna let Bob beat you in the courtroom? And you got a whole law degree. And girl, goodbye. So anywho, her friend Tanya comes over and they start talking about how dirty Bob is and how he does. And Tanya tells her, she said, I got your invitation to your independence party. And Sheree was like, yeah, I just want to, just celebrate being free. Okay. Ain't no feeling like being free. Shout out to Destiny's Child. In the next scene, Lisa is at home with Ed pretending to be perfect. Lisa used to get on my nerves. Okay. She really used to get on my nervous system. And this is why. I don't feel like Lisa was being real. That's not her real voice. She's talking all high pitched. And that was not the Lisa that we knew from the Hollywood Divas. Okay. If you watched Hollywood Divas, shout out to Todd. Then you know that Lisa did not behave this way. And I was like, why is she putting on these airs? This ain't making no sense. And we know Ed ain't worth a hill of beans, honey. Okay? Shout out to Keisha Knight Pulliam. We know he ain't no good. So they're talking about having another baby. She says she's 38 and she doesn't know if she has the energy for another baby. In the next scene, Sheree is going to meet with her party planner, Anthony. Baby. So we are being introduced to Anthony. Sheree said he was referred to her, and Keisha, who is like sitting next to him right now, I don't know if this is his assistant, I'm not sure what it is. Keisha is sitting next to him, and she's like a huge party planner around town. But I want to say this. Atlanta party planners have left a bad taste in my mouth, honey, and I'm not even from Atlanta. Y'all remember Kenya's hair care heat box party? Y'all remember what? Not a lick of AC in there. Everybody was sweating, honey. Edges was coming out and sweating back. It wasn't looking like nothing. And then y'all remember Portia's gender reveal carnival debacle, where they couldn't get the tent up and it was basically just a backyard barbecue with a bounce house? Child, them Atlanta party planners ain't no good, honey. I know it's probably some good ones, but the ones that they show on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, no thank you. So she's asking what they got, and Anthony is telling her, they're going to bring Hollywood to Atlanta. So baby, he's selling these wolf tickets and whatnot, and she's like, I would like to come in on a helicopter. Now Sheree, now why? Just why? Y'all know what? Sheree like to put on. She's one of those people that will go on vacation without paying her light bill first. Come back completely in the dark. Sheree, you don't have to keep up with the Joneses. Child, this is a whole fool. So Anthony is telling her, you're going to be the queen of the night and they're going to throw rose petals at your feet. Okay, we'll see. This is what I think he should have done. You always under promise and over deliver. Because sometimes I have that problem. I over promise and then I feel like I under deliver. But then sometimes I'm like, I'm going to give you a little bit of something, and then I give you more than I said I was going to give, honey. I give you a little bit of zhuzh. So he should have just kept quiet, honey, because he ain't hitting no nothing. So then he was like, yeah, there's going to be a poet there. What does a Cleopatra-themed party have to do with a poet? Nothing? Oh, okay, I ain't think so. Moving forward. In the next scene, Kandi in her short hair stops by Lisa's house. Kandi was so pretty with her short hair. Hey, Kandi girl. So her and Lisa are talking about the vagina monologues that they're going to do, and she's trying to convince her to do it. Now, y'all know season 2 was Kandi's first season. So we're just getting introduced to her, and this is like her first scene. Here we go. So she's trying to convince her to do the vagina monologues, but of course Lisa's like, what if I get a bad vagina? Like, I don't want to be with a vagina that's been around the world. Okay, Lisa, you're going to be fine. So then she shows off her ring because Lisa was like, girl, let me see that rock. So she tells us that she's engaged to AJ, but Mama Joyce don't like him, honey. Mama Joyce don't like nobody, okay? She's like, because the thing is, he got a lot of kids. Here go, Lisa. What's a lot? She said 6. Oh, girl, he got a whole Brady bunch. Oh, no, ma'am. And Mama Joyce don't like nobody. Anybody that can get close to Kandi and might want to get a coin or two, she don't like them, honey, even if they got their own money. May AJ rest in peace. So Kandi said, I want a big family, and he has a big family, and, it's cool with me. So then Lisa asked her if she knew Kim. And Kandi said, well, we have this mutual friend, Dallas Austin. So Lisa said, well, if she can get a deal, then so can I. Kandi said, she got a deal? Lisa said, well, that's what I heard, supposedly. Okay, pause. I never understood Lisa's beef with Kim. It just transpired season 1's reunion. Now, Lisa did say that Kim was running off at the mouth saying some stuff about her she shouldn't have said, and I believe that because Kim a little bit messy boots, but it just came out of nowhere. I was like, child, not the girls fighting. Anywho, that's just a side note. So Lisa was like, well, girl, I don't believe nothing that Kim got to say. Back at Nene's house, Greg, her, and Brent are shooting pool, and Nene got on her little relaxed fit with her 27 piece. Hey, Lanithia. Baby, this is Lanithia. Do you hear me? From Athens. So she tells Greg that she's going to Niecy Nash's birthday party. Honey, Greg looked completely shocked. Like, what? You going to a birthday party? You ain't told me nothing about it. But anyway, he continues to play pool, and she's like, well, I know you didn't want to go, so Lisa gonna come pick me up. So she said, well, I'm supposed to see Kim tonight, and maybe we can have that wine. He was like, yeah, maybe y'all can. She said, I just really care a lot about Kim. Oh, these two frenemies. Okay, let's keep on. Later that night, Nene was getting ready for the party. She want her eyes popping, lips busting. So she getting ready for the party, and she said her and Sheree, they're cordial, but she don't know about seeing Kim. Over at Sheree's house, she's saying the exact same thing. She's like, me and Nene, we're cordial. She also tells us that Kim and her were cool until she got wind of some things that Kim was saying about her. Now, everybody can't be lying on you, Zodiac Bierman, okay? If Lisa is saying it and Sheree is saying it and everybody else is saying it, then it might be true. So I'm looking at Sheree. Is this what we're wearing in 2008? Is this what we were wearing? She has on jeans, an ill-fitted blazer. It's got little ruffles in the back of it poking out, and a t-shirt and some heels on. Ugh, child. I do like that back then we were all so natural and not a lot of makeup. You could just give yourself a little lip liner and some gloss and pop them lips real quick and you gone. Honey, shout out to Lil Mama. My lip gloss is popping. My lip gloss is cool. All the boys, they jock me. They chase me after school. But this look right here that Sheree got going on, it's giving nothing. Moving forward. So Lisa and Ed, they're on their way to pick up Nene, and they all three in the car doing a remix of Tardy for the Party. And this is the thing. Nene didn't expect Kim to blow up from that song, and she really did want to be on that track with Kim, and I think she didn't know how to articulate the fact that she was hurt that Kim left her off, so she just let her pride and her ego get in the way, and then that's how all hell broke loose and everything started going downhill. But I feel like maybe she should have just talked to Kim, and then maybe everything would have been everything. So they all get to the party, right, at the same damn time. So you got Lisa, Nene, Ed, and Kim. So Lisa looking at Kim, and Kim trying to act like she don't see none of them, okay? Baby, these fashions are giving high-end city trends. Do you hear me? Baby, these fashions are giving high-end city trends. City trends is fashion for less. Anywho, so Nene and Kim acting like they don't see each other. Child, Kim made an appearance and then bounced. Took a picture and then left. Child, I wish you would come to my party and then take a picture and then go. So then Sheree shows up. She's like, I seen Kim. When I was pulling in, she was pulling out. They was like, did you say anything to her? She was like, no, girl, she ain't even see me. So when she got there, now, mind you, Sheree has been invited to this party. So the people come to her and they're getting ready to take a picture. And they're like, something, Niecy Nash's birthday party, right? What's Sheree gonna say? Whose birthday party? Sheree. Niecy Nash. Girl, you didn't know where you were going? Atlanta is definitely about keeping up with appearances. Because when I saw this episode tonight and looked back on the fact that Sheree didn't even know where the heck she was going, I was like, oh, okay, honey, they definitely keeping up appearances. So they go out to the balcony to talk. And of course, they talk about Kim. And so Lisa said, she said I was on a controlled substance and had a rap sheet. Well, Lisa, they did say, honey, back when Media Takeout was taking over the world before the Shade Room and TMZ and all of them, they did say that you had a rap sheet and they had some receipts. Allegedly, honey, I'm just saying. So Sheree said, well, Nene said that Greg was broke. Greg borrowed $10,000. Every time I hear about Greg being broke, that's all I could think of. Child, Nene don't care about what Kim talking about. She want to be friends with Kim, okay? I think that this show got bigger than the friendship, and that's why it fell apart. But in these earlier seasons, Nene wanted to be attached to Kim, and that's the bottom line. So Nene just standing there looking crazy, and she was like, well, I want to ask Kim, because, I have never talked to her about my finances. Nene wants to get together to talk, but Lisa was like, girl, this is who Kim is. Now, you can talk to her, and I sit there and I say hello, honey, but I don't want to have nothing else to do with her. And that's that on that. You can tell in the beginning that Nene really wanted to salvage the friendship, but Kim and Nene were both stars in their own right by season 3. And I think it took a toll on Nene in this short wig, honey, because she didn't expect Kim to blow up the way Kim blow up shawaited. Like, people were dressing like Kim for Halloween. Synthetic blonde wigs, one of them big old cincher belts, them bad blazers, and a cigarette hanging out the side of their mouth. Y'all don't act like y'all don't remember. Google Kim Zolciak Halloween costumes and Party City gonna pop right up. Moving forward. In the next scene, here go Kandi. I'm so comfortable in the skin I'm in. I'm secure about who I am. So you can go ahead and talk all you wanna. So child, she in the studio, flying above all the drama and whatnot. And she tells us that she was born and raised in the ATL. She is an original Georgia peach. So the show introduces us to Kandi, the Burris, and this was her first season. So now we're getting to know a little bit about Kandi. Everybody know who Kandi is, but we're going to get introduced to her nonetheless. As I'm looking at this, I never thought that Kandi would outlast all of the other women. Who would have thunk it? Like, as I was watching the seasons progress, I never would have thought that Kandi would be the last OG standing. Because, she came season 2, so we can go and call her OG, okay? She just missed a few seasons. She just missed a few episodes, but she's fine. But that's just crazy to me. So she tells us she wrote songs for Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, Pink, Alicia Keys, won a Grammy for No Scrubs. I'm going to say this. Kandi is a force. Okay, we can say what we want to say about Kandi, and people got their little qualms with Kandi because their team, this person or that person, but Kandi is a force to be reckoned with, and her work ethic is unmatched. Point blank in the period. So Kandi tells us, that most people buy jewelry and whatnot, but she invests in properties because she's thinking about generational wealth. I know that's right, girl. That's smart. So she said, I'm a single mother. I have one daughter. Her name is Riley, and she's 6 years old. Oh, that's how old my baby is. And just watching Riley now, like, she was 6 when this started, and she was so cute. And now she's a whole college freshman or sophomore or something like that, honey. I know she in college. It is crazy to see how she's grown up. Child, I start getting a little sentimental. I'm like, oh my God, my baby's 6. Next thing you know, I'm gonna blink and he gonna be 19 or 20 years old. Oh, child, I'm not ready. But anywho, that's just a side note. So she said, Riley doesn't have a relationship with her dad. Honey, we all know block ain't worth a hill of beans. And she said most of the women in her family were single moms, and she just hate that she didn't break the generational curse. Well, honey, look at you now. Okay, you and Marvin, a.k.a. Todd. Shout out to Phaedra. Y'all doing good. And you know what? Sometimes it's out of our control that we are single parents. It really is. Because let me tell you something. I tried to do everything the right way. Went to college, got the degree, got the job, got married, had the baby, white picket fence, and I'm still by my lonesome. Okay, doing it for myself. Taking care of my son every day alone. Sometimes it's not your fault. Okay? And if you are a single mom, girl, hold your head up, honey. It's going to be fine. So she said that she's engaged to AJ. She tells us yet again. And she's like, he likes to do the same thing as me. And so they're taking family pictures and whatnot. In the next scene, Nene is in the car and she calls Lisa because she's on the way to meet up with Sheree to see what they can do to squash the drama that they got going on. So they get to the park, they're talking, and Nene tells Sheree that she didn't like that they were going at it. And the party was not cool the way she was treated. So Sheree said, I apologized. I could have said something to Nene a little bit sooner. And then Nene said in her confessional that she takes part of the blame because she didn't reach out to her either. Oh, okay. Not Nene apologized as well. Honey, Nene should have stayed humble. You can tell the fame went to her head. You can just tell. So Sheree said, we had a bond, so I just want us to be able to get through it. She said Nene was there when she went through all that she went through with Bob. And she's like, I appreciate you. Here you go, Nene. Say it again. You say, what now? Girl, she said she appreciates you. Child, let's move on. So then they hugged it out and Nene wanted her to cry. Nene, it's fine. Child, I'm glad they worked it out. For now. Moving forward. In the next scene, Kim stops by to pretend to learn about hair. Girl. So she went to Empire Beauty School. Kim is sitting here telling this lady, because the lady was like, so what made you get into wigs? Here you go, Kim. I wear one. Something wrong with Kim. She was like, wigs are so controversial because I wear them, but black women have always worn weaves and fake hair. And, we're just now catching up. Here go the lady. Oh, okay. She's saying that as she stares at the synthetic masterpiece that Kim is rocking. That lady looking at Kim like, girl, now what else is going on? Child, Kim ain't learning nothing. Beauty school dropout. Over with Kandi. She's at the house with Riley and AJ, and they go in the room, and Riley is telling Kandi she's not thrilled about her getting married. And Kandi is like, why? She was like, because all his kids, child. I don't want to be brothers and sisters with all them brothers and sisters. So after she gets through talking to her about that, she was like, well, you got to go, honey, because Hannah Montana is coming on. Hannah Montana, Hannah Montana, Hannah Montana. Honey, she ain't got time for that. Moving forward. So here we go. We see Sheree in the car, right? So she's calling the party planner, Anthony. She said, I called to ask him questions and he was getting mad. Baby, he acting like you getting on his nerves. Sir, you work for her. She don't work for you. So they're talking. And Sheree said, he had an attitude. He told me that he had the final say and then he hung the phone up. Baby, that's when I would have severed all ties. He would have gotten zero communication from me henceforth. And I would have gotten my deposit back and I wouldn't have dealt with him. Child, we can go to the restaurant and have us some drinks and cheers to my divorce. Honey, we don't need no party. Child, I wish I would. So she gets to Lawrence's salon to get her hair done. And she's telling him how unprofessional Anthony is being. So Lawrence was like, well, just tell him you the boss. Okay, just tell him that this is your event and you pay him. Child, Lawrence, know he can work a flat iron, honey. I was looking at the way he was flat ironing Sheree hair. I said, baby, I got to get to the ATL and let Lawrence flat iron his head. Baby, that boy know he can work a flat iron. Child, it's just a side note. So Sheree goes to visit the party planner. Ooh, here it go. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this word for word because I have to reenact it. So stay with me. So she gets to the office in the infamous off-the-shoulder green top. She's like, hey, Anthony. He said, hey, Sheree. So they go into the office to sit down. He's like, how's everything going? She said, you tell me. He said, oh, okay, well, everything is going as scheduled. The queen of the night, as the guys are carrying you in, the women are going to drop the roses at your feet, and then they're going to be at your beck and call. And, after that, we're going to have the poet. Sheree said, well, I still haven't talked to the poet. He said, we're going to do a conference call with him while you're here today. She said, okay. And child, in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, honey, he seems calm at this point. But then things change. He said, we tried to contact you, but couldn't. She said, did you leave messages? Because I didn't get a missed call from you or a poet. He said, you should have gotten a message from my assistant. Child, quit lying, Anthony. Ain't nobody called her. She said, well, in her confessional, the party is in 4 days. It's 4 days away, and I haven't heard from a poet. This is how I feel. The poet is dumb. Okay, it's a dumb idea. Just thought I'd put that out there. We don't need no poet, honey. We don't need to hear and steal Sheree Rises at this divorce party. We don't need it. We just don't need it. So child, let's get back to it. So she said, the thing is, like, if we're going to work together, we need to be on the same page. No matter how many times I ask you a question, I need you to answer. Honey, especially since I'm paying. She said, I don't expect you to say, we've already had that conversation. He said, I am a top level executive. I expect you to respect my time. Ooh. She said, I do. He said, when I asked you to go to the prop house, you canceled. She said, it was the day of. Child, now it's nothing but excuses. Let's get into it. Sheree veins slowly starting to pop out. Y'all know it's about to get real. He said, no, that was before. She said, no, honey, that was the day of. Baby, then it gets loud. He said, when we agreed to do this event, I asked you 2 things. She said, no, you over-exaggerated what you could do. Well, baby, he getting louder. No, I didn't over-exaggerate. She said, you promised a helicopter. Now, I thought she mentioned the helicopter, but that's neither here nor there. He said, I said it was a tentative idea. She said, where is Keisha? He said, Keisha doesn't work. This is my event. You deal with me or you deal with no one. Child, I would have said, cool. Well, no one it is. She said, how about I don't want to deal with you? He said, okay, then you take your event and your attitude. She said, I will. He said, you need a reality check. Child, not a reality check on a reality show. She said, no, you need a reality check. She said, you don't have the connections, honey. It's Keisha. Well, baby, what she say that for? He said, are you crazy? Google me and do my resume. Now, why would she do your resume? I'm just saying. Baby, somebody getting flustered. So then she said, get your finger out of my face. He said, you better watch yourself before you get checked. She said, who gonna check me, boo? Baby, yes ma'am, gather him. When I tell you that simple line will forever go down in Housewives history, that line alone was iconic. Honey, just as simple as, who gonna check me, boo? Baby, and the way she leaned in and looked at him, baby, effortlessly underneath those shades, getting to it. Baby, that rolled off her tongue so good. Sheree really is about that life, honey. She don't back down from no fight. Y'all know she will argue till she can't argue no more. Baby, he couldn't say nothing. Here you go. Oh, anyway. She said, you okay? Baby, I know that's right. Antagonized the hell out of him, Sheree. He said, no. Baby, then it went left. He was like, first of all, your name is burnt in the industry. She's like, your name is burnt. His name not even in the industry, child. It's giving second time throwing an event. Now I can't deliver what I promised. That's what it's giving. So, baby, they start hollering. Spit flying, pre-C19, honey, no mask needed. And he's like, I eat just like you every day. She said, well, eat me then, honey. Eat me then. She's like, who are you? He said, I am the person organizing this event for you. She said, exactly, for me. She said in her confessional, you know what? The Cleveland girl was ready to call Pookie and them and have them whoop his ass. So then he went crazy, baby. He stands up, raises his hand. He's like, F you. I slapped up like you big. By this time, baby, Sheree done turned into She-Hulk, baby. That vein popping out. She said, I wish the fuck you would. Ooh, child. So she leaning into him. He leaning into her. He's like, ooh. She's like, ooh. So, child, they losing it, honey. She said, put your hands on me. I dare you. Baby, he cussing her out. Then the people run in to separate the two of them. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, child, it's getting real. Then he's like, your mama. She said, your mama? What? Who says your mama? So then in her confessional, she gonna say, I just don't understand this. Whatever happened to customer service? And scene. And baby, that was the end of the episode. That was season 2, episode 1, the time where Sheree went in on the party planner. Do y'all hear me? He got a short fuse, honey. He is legit crazy. He was acting like he was on something, allegedly, okay? Like, who goes from 0 to 100 that quick because someone is asking you a question about a party that they are paying you to plan? Boy, are you on prescription medication? Are you on dog food? Like, what is wrong with you? Child, I wonder if he ever worked again after that. But there's more. Thank you guys for hanging on. Let me read this to y'all, child, because after doing this Throwback Thursday, I just had to see what Anthony was up to. And I said, Misha, and Misha said, girl, what? And I said, well, let's get into it if we're going to get into it then. And we got on the Googler. So first I had to figure out his name because I had forgotten it, and it was Anthony Shorter. Child, y'all tell me why Anthony Shorter is running for city council. And the people are not doing what Anthony wants them to do. Now, they already saw him cuss out a woman and tell her that he would slap the F out of her. Okay? And that was on film. So he says this. To everyone who feels like they need to define me. Not defined, honey. Define. We don't need the D. To everyone who feels like they need to define me by a character I played on TV 13 years ago for which I got paid. Sir, you were not playing a character. The way Sheree's veins were popping out the side of her neck and the way she ran that back to Lawrence, that was not an actor. That wasn't a Tyler Perry play. Honey, that's who you are. But let's continue. Shame on you. I cannot be defined by a character. My work in the public and private sector speaks for itself. My humanitarian efforts working with the homeless, teens, and my One Man Can Make a Difference Foundation shows my commitment to service and my community. Hate organizations like Preserves Johns Creek and all those affiliated with other candidates running in this election can speak from my heart and deeply rooted love for my community. You can choose to not vote for me because of our political differences, but to base it on a TV character is ridiculous. Sir, you were not a character. You were playing you, starring you. Oh boy, hush. So then he had this to say. It's so funny how people are trying to slander my name based on a character I played on TV 13 years ago. How pathetic they have gotten. The joke's on you. It's television. I hate to tell you, Bugs Bunny isn't a real person either. #Shorter for Johns Creek 2021. Sir, There was not a damn piece of a comment underneath these pictures, okay? That shows that therefore and thus and such, nobody's talking about anything you did 13 years ago. You branded yourself when you got up and got in this woman's face and got to spitting when you were talking and whatnot. So I don't know what kind of counsel you running for, honey, but it ain't going to be able to be done. Okay, you were not playing a character, you were playing you. And that's that on that. Child, y'all comment down below after y'all done figured out what Anthony Shorter is now doing in his spare time. Child, I wish I would elect him for something. I don't even live in Atlanta. Thank you so much for listening and or watching. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments down below and your suggestions for the next Throwback Thursday. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.